Hi, my name is Rob Miletto. I'm an ecological consultant, and today on this lovely sunny day at the end of May, we're at Brown Moss Nature Reserve, and we're looking at another of the habitats of principal importance. This is what we're doing for the Nature Recovery Network Habitat Mapping Project, and today we'll be looking at mesotrophic lakes. So mesotrophic lakes are ones that have a moderate nutrient content. We've looked at eutrophic lakes that have lots of nutrients. We've looked at oligotrophic lakes that have few nutrients. Now, I don't expect you to carry around a test kit to measure the nitrates and the phosphates in the water. You can really do it in two ways. One is the colour of the water and how much algae it's got in it, and the other one is indicator plants. Hopefully you can see that this one is not thick with algae, so really green pea soupy water, but equally it's not beautifully clear water that looks like you've just got it out of a tap and could drink it. It's got a few algae in it, so it's got a green tinge to it, and it has that look about it that looks like, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to drink that, but equally it's not pea soup. So indicator species is a good way of telling mesotrophic lakes, Hoppy, and one of the key ones is water crowfoot, which is this little white flower that's growing beneath me here. And if you look out over there, you can see it grows in big carpets on the lake shores, looking like almost snow on the water. It's a white flower, but it has a yellow centre. There are a number of species, but any water crowfoot will do. If they don't happen to be in flower, look for the deeply lobed leaves that grow flat to the ground or even flat floating on the water. They're a good indication of this plant as well. So another indicator of mesotrophic lakes, Hoppy, are a group of plants called water starworts. Again, there are a number of species, but there's no need to take it to species level. It's quite an inconspicuous group of plants. It's basically a stem that grows underwater, but at regular intervals you have 4 leaves coming off in the same place, making like a cross shape. So those cross leaves is probably how it gets its name Starwort, because they look a bit like stars all the way up the stem. Don't expect to see flowers, they're very small and inconspicuous. Another plant to look out for is Hornwort. Again, there are 2 species, but don't worry about that. You'll see that as a submerged plant, and hopefully you won't have to go wading like me. It'll often grow along the edges of lakes, and Hornwort's a funny one. It looks like an underwater Christmas tree, but there are lots of plants that look like that. Try and get a piece, because the thing about it is it's quite rigid, it's inflexible. If you try and bend a leaf, it'll often snap. It almost feels like you're holding a piece of steel wool. It's got that crispiness to it. That's Hornwort. So hopefully you've got a better idea now of what makes a mesotrophic lake. It's a funny one because you're doing things in terms of water nutrients, which you can't measure directly, but you use 2 things. The colour of the water, it's not really murky and it's not crystal clear, and also indicator species that I've shown you a few of today. And if you're in doubt about the indicator species, because they can be a bit tricky, you've got 3 options really. Ask a friendly botanist, buy a good book, or use apps these days, and make sure that you take your wellies because they're wet places.